Here it is mid-August, and as you know, I like to pull a bunch of oak limbs this time of year, and a lot of them sooner, but get some that actually kind of get in the way of my driveway here, so they get hit by, you know, taller vehicles and stuff, and they like to kind of droop down. So these pin oaks work pretty well. I'm gonna grab this one here with the silky, get some rubber gloves here and take those and relocate them. I've got a few spots in mind today. It's in the 70s. Got to take advantage of this weather and kind of get in, get out, and get those kind of established anyway. And then we'll work on different rains throughout the year to go in and treat them and put the buck fever to them. Hey, one last garden update. Still got quite a few tomatoes. Been picking them off and doing some canning, just regular tomatoes now, kind of done with the salsa. Quite a few peppers, but what I'm doing today, it's mid-August, but I'm taking up my covered rows, which would be between my planter rows, all this black matting. I'm going to take it out, and I'm actually getting ready to plant in kind of a couple blends. I like going with a little bit of vetch, hairy vetch, do some daikon radish in here and a little bit of crimson clover. And I'll probably come back in here later next month and do some oats and wheat. That'll be going in my food plots, but just another place to kind of add that diversity, help your soil, similar to what I'm doing in the food plots. Well, I'm in here trying to make a game time decision. I've got this triple scrape branch I brought in. I was gonna go right off of this cedar, but you can tell all the branches are dying down below. But it's the same one I rubbed up here 3 weeks ago or so. Got knee-high rubber boots, but it's still, I mean, we're a ways out, so we're okay. Just gonna get this attached, but I'm looking at this slope on this ground, and that is not ideal. So I'm gonna come up on the high side, even though it's not gonna be at a wide open shot. I think it's still where I need to go. I got the ground kind of cleared from perennial scrape over there, but whether they've broken it off over the years, but there's some over here that they've been using still too. So it's kind of a bend. It'll still be about a 20-25 yard shot. So I think it'll be a good setup for laying here. They come right off this ridge. There's a good little bench that comes off of this and connects a couple different bedding areas. So it should be good. Timber around here luckily breaks up a little bit easier. I got the silky with me so I can knock out any roots that I need to, but getting ready to add a little buck fever to the overhanging branch, which is really what matters right now. They still haven't stripped velvet, but that's the key, get that forehead gland going. They're coming in from downhill here, so it's not as high as I typically put them, but I think it's going to be perfect because they're a pretty good slope here. There's not much I can do. That was too tempting. Basically piece these two together. A little bit of a slope, but that's a perennial scrape right there. You can see this one over here that I just created. Right next to that rubbed up tree. This one here, about the same distance of a shot. Calling it right here for laying. It's gonna be good. Well, I'm in here getting ready to spray a little micro plot here. And one of the maintenance things that I have to do, I've actually had a pretty good oak limb that was still transitioning, working well, but just brought in a couple more. I just actually brought the drill bit in and drilled through so I can make a double, but these little brackets I built a couple years ago, just actually probably 5 or more years ago. Thought I could patent those jokers, but anyway, it's just more of a use type deal that works good for me. I can actually use this little thumb turn, basically a bolt that secures that branch once it's in there, but kind of finding the right size is always tricky, and making sure my pole's the right height and level. But I'm gonna do a little bit of work and tamp that in and get the ground worked here, and got a ladder stand right over here that Lane likes to hunt, and hopefully we'll get this Johnson grass sprayed out and come in. I'm gonna get a little bit of a kind of a more of a clover based type variety back in here, so should be a good little minimal maintenance type. Well, this plot that I just sprayed, it's kind of part of a little bit of a meandering plot. It goes on down to that where I started out, down there, and I've got that scrape post. But just kind of works them through here. I've got some hinge cut stuff along the side, a little bit of a corridor. Just putting that all together, getting that transition out to the big food in the evening is what you need to do. So one good thing about doing these kind of little timber burns and kind of the differences of both sides and oak management, you got a lot of young ones. So I'm actually grabbing a lot of my scrape limbs here today. They're kind of, I'll just match up diameter. I got some old stuff right here you can kind of see. Just match it up. So you can basically make a double out of some of these like that if you get them split out like that. I kind of like that every once in a while, just to mix it up a little bit. Doesn't have to be anything beefy, but I drill holes through my rubbing posts and see if this one works. I'll usually just kind of wire them. They're never the same every year. Perfect. Last one of the day. I don't get too crazy worried about the spray nozzles like everybody complains about. Stuff just flat out works. What I'm doing actually, I'm kind of spot spraying. I got the little sprayer. Some spots. I got really good chicory and some older clover, so I'm not going to do a full tillage in here, but getting ready here next couple weeks. It's got a little bit of 2,4-D in it where I just sprayed, so I needed a few weeks, but that's about perfect on the timing. I'm going to come in. I've got one over there I'm going to crimp and kind of plant into a different blend. This one here is going to be kind of a more of an all-purpose fall with a bunch of diverse plantings, but should be pretty good. About an acre. I've got a water tank and camera back here, so just trying to get all this assessed, get all the grasses, the main heavy grasses. That's where I'm kind of spot spraying. But once you keep these living roots in the soil, it really helps you on all that. This weed seed, the grasses. It's been a lot less maintenance, and I'm not having to use a bunch of herbicide. That's pretty unreal right there. That sun hemp, that second year, the first year I did this with green cover, it just wasn't nearly the same, but man, you can just tell this stuff's thrived. Look at the beans down low here. I was just coming along there. I was kind of hoping to kind of spot spray some stuff, but man, there's absolutely no weeds that I'm seeing that I can visibly go in and spot spray. Got some CRP out on the edge, but this is just a small little filter plot. Got a kind of a tree stand here that hopefully will be a good setup, but another big plot. It looks even taller out in the open, but man, it's been a really good year. So I don't know, the pumpkins definitely that I planted in there, they're probably buried in some of that because it's completely covered up, so they may not have done very well, but that's all right. We got plenty of cover when we come in here in a couple weeks and plant that fall release. I'm looking at these oaks too and seeing acorns. A couple bur oaks, chinkapin oaks, I can see them. They're pretty covered, which is fairly common, but yeah, getting close. It's exciting.